is MJ and the boys. You lucky bastards.
We are podcasting live for episode 225. And we're still in social isolation because one guy doesn't like to read. This is MJ and the boys, you lucky bastards.
Hello, welcome to another, self-isolation episode of MJ and the Boys, You Lucky Bastards. Am I too hot or too low?
I think you're a little too low.
The answer is always too hot. I'm too hot.
You are pretty hot, but your volume is pretty low. And it sounds like somebody's having a fight with a washing machine using an aluminum baseball bat.
That is not me. I'm not moving.
All right.
I think you might be having a stroke.
Yeah.
It's not me. I am at my house.
All right.
Okay. Let's get
We're
started.
here we are. This is it. This is the show, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Stevie, how's it going? Are you
Man,
yet?
I got to tell you something. What I did today, somebody started a Facebook group about Central Kentucky local music, which, as you guys know, I was a pretty instrument. Oh, you guys couldn't hear that, could you?
No.
Which
I
part?
heard fart or whatever that was.
Yeah, you don't know what I'm. In my earphones, I can hear my idiot neighbor on his CB radio.
Awesome.
That's what all the noise is. I hear the idiot. This guy has a 30-foot broadcast tower in his backyard, and every time he talks, it comes through my earphones, my headphones.
Break a long time. We got a convoy rolling down the road, or not it's smoky. No, we're hearing it too.
Yeah, no.
That was you, Sean. That was.
No, I am hearing something cut in ever so often. It sounds like a squelch.
Yeah,
The mic's
that's
squelch.
what.
It's probably the
Yeah,
neighbor.
that's what it is. Well, anyway.
All right. Well, it's an additional cast member. It's all of us plus Sticky's neighbor. So
Hello, asshole neighbor.
Hello. This is
Somebody-
this Sticky neighbor. We had Sticky on the other morning on the morning show, and the neighbor was doing the same damn thing.
Yeah, it's all he does is play on his CB radio. So anyway,
Is his name the rubber duck?
I call him Joe Dirt. I don't know what his real name is.
I hope he hears you.
He's got to probably, I don't know, how would he know which house this is? But anyway, that's not the point. Somebody started a Facebook group about Central Kentucky local music, which I joined the group because I used to be in a band. And then afterwards, I played local music on the radio for a long time. Well, it got me, I started having a conversation back and forth with one of the page administrators. Long story short, I dug my 320 local music CDs out of storage, alphabetized them, and then took a picture of each one individually. It took me over 3.5 hours to do, and I am exhausted.
Why did you do that?
Because, honestly, MJ, without being funny, I feel like that I've got a piece of Lexington, Kentucky history that most people don't care about, to be honest.
You definitely do.
And I wanted to chronicle it. I didn't know what to do with all these CDs, I don't want to throw them away, but they're also taking up space in my garage too. So I thought I'll take a picture of every one of these, and then all the bands who ever wondered, if their CD still exists out there somewhere, because I know my old band, I wonder if anybody still has my CD, So I took a picture, and I'm going to post it on that Facebook page a little bit later on tonight. But
Well, that's really cool.
Oh my God, it was so much work.
Well, that's awesome because I can, I'll probably go through it to see if you have any Earl's old bands because he's been in
Yeah, I definitely do.
bands.
The 357s, 9-Pound Hammer. Yeah, I got all that.
Yellow Belts.
Yep, I got 2 Yellow Belt CDs.
You shut up. Do you really?
Yep.
Well, that's crazy. Good on you, Sticky.
Yep. But prior to that, I had just finished up watching the first season of Tiger King.
Yes.
So,
what'd you think?
Well, let me just thank you for that, MJ, because I was just going to watch one episode to humor you, and I got hooked on it. I watched the whole thing. They put out a new episode of it last night. Did you see that?
I did.
And so I watched that as well. And so this is what and by the way, if you are a big Tiger King fan, tonight, Monday night, 9 p.m., so I guess if you're listening to this live, you'll know, but if you hear this on the podcast, it'll be too late. There is a TMZ special on Fox at 9 o'clock, an hour-long TMZ special. So,
is it on Fox? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's on Fox. So this is what I'm worried about, MJ. Because I thought about you the entire time I was watching this, and I'm not sure how you feel about it. What I want to know is, do you, MJ, agree that Joe Exotic, like all the other people in this show, is a garbage human being? Or do you love him? Oh, okay.
No, I think he's a total garbage human being. I think this is my deal. So does he deserve to be in jail? Yeah, he killed tigers for no reason other than profit, right? He obviously deserves jail time. Now, that being said, he was totally set up by the douchey Jeff Lowe guy, the Affliction, Harley Davidson, do-rag with hat guy.
Right.
You know, because he'd been talking about that fucking bitch, Carol Baskin, for like ever, right? And like he'd never really sent a hitman out or whatever. So I feel like his sentence is a little steep. He does need to do some jail time, but I don't think he needs to die in prison. I don't think he is such a garbage human being that's where he should die. Does that make sense? He needs to serve.
Yeah. But no, because I was watching it and I was kind of thinking, you know, like there's some people out there, like they've got a GoFundMe page set up for him and all this other stuff. And I was kind of thinking that you might be Team Joe, and I was worried about that.
No. I mean, he's entertaining as hell, you know, and I remember when he was running for president, we actually played his campaign speech where he's like, I do drugs, I'm broke as shit. You remember? So like I remember him from that, but that's really about it. So yeah, he's entertaining as hell. Does that mean he should be out killing tigers because he makes me laugh? No, fuck no. You know?
Okay. Yeah. Neil, what'd you think of the show in general? What'd you think?
I have not seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No, I'm going to wait until I'm going to wait for the book. I'm waiting for the book.
I don't think there's going to be a book, Neil, because I don't think people will be able to read it.
Well, I'm just not sold. Just because everybody's seen it and everything and everybody talks about it doesn't mean I need to.
Right. Okay, Sean, you feel the same way, right? You don't want to get on that train.
I am waiting until hell freezes over to watch it.
Let me just say that I think that it's wholly entertaining, even if you hate. I mean, all those people that are in it are awful people. I don't condone any of them, but you know, it's interesting to watch. Now, let's see what Trixie Joe Pineapples has to say. Yo, Trixie, you're on MJ and the Boys. What's up?
Hey, I just really wanted to speak up at this point to tell you that they're all garbage people, except for Carol Baskin. She's not a garbage person. She did no. Let me tell you something.
She's a troll. She's trolling.
I'm not a troll.
She's trolling.
I'm not trolling. That show. Okay, I have to tell you my personal experience. A couple of years ago, I went to Mexico. It's a country right below us, and so we actually drove down to it. And there's a place down there called La Bufadora. La Bufadora, I think it is Spanish for the blowhole. And it's this really cool blowhole where this water shoots up out of the ocean, like sort of randomly. It's awesome. So there's all these shops and things lining the path to the La Bufadora. And there was a booth where you could take pictures with tigers. So I was like, oh, cool. So I go up and I could not believe it. There was this tiger who was so heavily drugged that he could not hold his own head up. And I burst into tears, and I'm screaming and crying, and I'm hysterical. And they had a baby lion cub, and the cub seemed okay. But there was a cub that had like poop all over its butt. I was just dying. So I ran back home to the U.S., and I fire up all these emails like, help me. And freaking Carol Baskin replies to me and says, I'm really sorry. Yeah, she emailed me. I'm so sorry. There's nothing we can do because Mexico's out of our control. Most of those animals are owned by the cartel, so you don't want to mess with it anyway, because from everything I've seen, cartels aren't that understanding.
There's
They can't.
really Carol fucking Baskins reached
she
out
did.
to you.
Yes, and the reason is because like she really truly cares about these animals, and she gave me like a bunch of places I could call. She's like, call this congressman, do whatever. But she's like, don't try to save this cat by yourself. It's never going to happen. Anyway, so there was a podcast about Joe Exotic before the TV show, and if you listen to that, you will hear a much more balanced story, and it's not as sensationalistic as the TV show. Now, I think the show's fun to watch, and it's kind of ridiculous, but I know they were doing a lot of this stuff for, for the ratings. One of the things
try to make it dramatic.
Totally dramatic. Like, for example, they talk about grinding. I'm sorry, this is not really a huge spoiler alert, or a little bit of a spoiler, but they talk about grinding up her husband with the meat grinder. Well, she did have a meat grinder, but it was tabletop size, the type of meat grinder that anybody would have. So it's like, this is bullshit. Like, they're really exaggerating her, and I don't agree with it. Now, maybe I'll be proven wrong. I don't know her personally.
Listen.
But Team Carol.
I don't think she ground her husband up in that tabletop meat grinder. However, she did pretty much admit she covered him in sardine oil and let a tiger eat it. Don't gloss over that. She said, you need to cover them in sardine oil or something like that if you want a tiger to eat. Like,
I don't know. I think he liked it.
I cringed. I was like, oh my God, she really did that. And what happened to him then? Trixie, where's her husband? Did he just go?
Oh, I'll tell you where he is. He's partying in Costa Rica with a bunch of hookers. That's what I think.
That'd be pretty cool if that were the case.
Now,
I think this guy would have starred in a one episode of the Jerry Springer Show.
Oh yeah,
just one.
Let me just say one thing about Carol Baskin. My wife followed Big Cat Rescue on Facebook. So when we started watching the show together, she was like, that sounds familiar to me. And then she looked it up. She had already been following Big Cat Rescue. But I'm like, Mama, I mean, if you look at her facility, it's not any better than Joe Exotic's facility.
Now, the difference, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Trixie, because apparently you and Carol Baskin's that bitch are best friends. But I think Carol's thing is she doesn't breed tigers. She rescues them because they can't be released into the wild. Right?
That's the difference.
Whereas Joe Exotic was a breeder who would sell them, and then if he hadn't sold them by the time they were past their prime, because they all openly admit that once it's a full-grown tiger, there's not much you can do. There's not photo ops. They're just, at that point, money.
Liability.
Yeah, so that I do believe that I don't think Carol's out there killing tigers. I think she loves tigers far more than she did her husband, and that's okay with me. That's okay with me, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure my wife loves tigers more than me.
Yeah, but I don't think she would quote cover you in sardine oil or something like that.
No, probably maybe not. Sean, how come you're not interested? What about it doesn't appeal to you?
I know too many of those people.
Like
I spent a lot, not legitimately know them. I spent a lot of time in Florida and the very hillbilly-ish worst parts of Georgia, and I know all those guys or people like them, and I don't need to see that shit on my TV.
I didn't even realize that was a thing.
Also, you do a podcast with one.
Well, it's true.
What?
Well,
sorry, MJ.
He seems like Joe Exotic seems like if he weren't gay and had a family, he would have the bubble boy stunt. The balloon boy thing in Colorado.
He's
the type that just doing whatever they can to get 15 minutes of fame.
Do you guys know the balloon boy story he's talking about, where the father put something, he built something, put his kid in it, and let him float away, and got off the press, and it was
except the kid wasn't in the balloon at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was a hoax. Do you know, MJ and Neil and Sean, do you guys know that there's a place sort of like that here in Central Kentucky, Wolf Run? It's in Nicholasville, Kentucky. And Annalena, now they don't breed, and they claim to be an animal rescue. But we went to visit it one time just out of curiosity, and this was years ago. And they had 2 tigers there. They looked like they weighed about 150 pounds each, which is not good for a tiger.
Terrible, yeah.
Yeah, they had 4 or 5 wolves, which, by the way, a wolf standing on all 4 of its feet is like 5.5 feet tall. Crazy.
Yeah.
they've got kangaroos and all kinds of exotic animals there. And it was really, really super sad. And we went there thinking it was like, you know, a quote unquote a rescue. And I guess technically they rescued them. But, you know, I don't know what they're doing with them. You know, they're just poor animals stuck in cages.
You know, I know actually the reason that's familiar. I'm pretty sure if you look it up, that organization is the same one that will be at farmers markets, 4th of July, any kind of downtown event. They usually bring, I've got a picture of they usually bring a wolf and let you take your picture with this wolf who now that I know all this stuff was probably sedated.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
There's a farm outside of Winchester that has a herd of camels.
Yeah, they're awesome, though. That's near Amazon. I love those camels. And they're not in cages. Those are free-roaming camels, just chilling. They had babies. Oh, I watched them babies grow up when I worked at Amazon. Because that was my weed smoking trip. Like, you would leave Amazon and you take that road past the camels and, like, you know, go down a little ways. There's plenty of time to get stoned, come back. And, yeah, I watched them camels grow up, have babies. Those are great. That's not even in the same category, Neil. You leave those sweet-ass camel people out of this.
I wouldn't, hey, I didn't say anything was wrong with the camels.
Okay.
It didn't make me feel sad to see the camels like leave.
Except for that they're raising them for camel meat.
No, they're not.
What do you think they have?
Delicious camel meat.
Yeah, they're making camel burgers, camel milk.
I don't know why they're...
Camel meal tea.
Camel meat is what's for dinner.
Oh, that was a good one, Sean. So anyway, Sean, listen, I get where you're coming from, dude, but I am telling you that this show is so bizarre and so funny, and there are a couple characters on there who are likable, like decent people.
Like the ex-felon, the head of the, he's still
the zookeeper, the head zookeeper, and the guy with no legs.
Yeah.
The guy with no legs is a great guy. He's a great guy. You could watch the show. I believe that you would be entertained by it, and then you'll know what we're all talking about. You don't want to be left out, right?
I really could not care less if I'm left out or not.
That's probably one of the main reasons he's not watching. He's like, no,
poor Sean.
I'm not part of the herd mentality.
He's been self-isolating for 40 years. Okay, so what else you got? If you guys, Neil was saying, there's some other things you'd like to turn people on to. If not Tiger King, what else you got that for people who are self-quarantining? What should we watch?
All right, so I've got a few here. I'm going to start with, let's see. So if you haven't caught up with Making a Murder, that's pretty good. It's been out for a few years. There's 2 seasons of it. If you were just now getting the time to stay home and kind of binge watch something, Making a Murder is really good. The Staircase is really old, but again, it's definitely worth watching. I watched the other day. It's a movie. It's like a mini series, but it's called Self-Made, and I recommend everybody watch Self-Made. It is the story about Madam C.J. Walker, who was literally the first female millionaire in the United States, and she was black. And she did it with hair care products for black people. And she was such a badass that if you do not watch Self-Made, you are doing yourself a disservice, like, for real. And, of course, like, if you are craving more of that hot mess Tiger King, like, kind of nonsense, like, everything I just named you is not even remotely close to Tiger King, but worth watching. But if you are craving that white trash, like, hot mess, I need to feel better about my life, if you have not seen that, this movie's probably almost 10 years old, but The Wild, Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. Have any of you guys watched that?
No, I've heard it, but I heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
Has Sean?
For the reason that Sean, I don't want to see those people being glorified.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, same reason I don't watch Tiger King.
Well, The Wild, Wonderful Whites of West Virginia, I have met a few of them. So I got to meet...
I think you might be related to a few of them.
Look, can I ask you a question first?
Yeah.
Is it white with a capital W, or is it about white people from West Virginia?
It's their last name. It's
okay.
Derek White and Mammy White, and their last name is White.
Okay.
And they're from West Virginia, and West Virginia's tagline is "Wild, Wonderful West Virginia." So they just Wild, Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
Got it. Okay.
The name of it. So they're pillheads, they're felons, and they're a mess. But like at one point, Durkee, he's one of the kids. He like shakes a pill bottle. He calls it the Boone County mating call. Like it's so real. But I went to see Hank 3 in West Virginia, and sure as shit, Mamie, one of the sisters, who sounds like a man, she calls herself, I'm the biggest, the baddest, and the meanest. She was there. I got to meet Mamie. I got to see Jesco. He was at Cosmic Charlie's. He threw down a piece of cardboard, passed out moonshine, and did what he calls flat-footing, which is just kind of a made-up dance that his dad made up. It's like a lazy clog. I don't really like it, but it was worth admission. So that's worth checking out. What I'm saying is if you're craving that white trash, like go ahead. It's old. Johnny Knoxville, Dick House Productions are the people who produce the Wild Wonderful Whites West Virginia, and Hank 3's in it. You'll see Johnny Knoxville. It's definitely worth checking out if you like Tiger King.
Okay, cool. Sean, you got any recommendations for
biggest, baddest, and the meanest? Sorry, I love Mamie. She's this big old chick with a tight ass braid, like real tight on the top of her head. She wears like Jack Daniels shirts that are too tight. Oh man!
Like
does she have a CB radio?
She'd date the guy from Sling Blade.
She literally sounds like a female Sling Blade. Yes, she does.
Does she have a CB radio tower in her backyard?
I guarantee one of them does. I guarantee one of them whites has a fucking. I would put fucking money on it.
Do you guys want to know why that the CB cut-in has stopped? I see the guy now. He's outside walking around in his sweat shorts and his Crocs. And if you're thinking, well, he's just wearing his quarantine robes, no, he dresses like that year round. Doesn't even matter if it's like 12 degrees outside. Crocs and sweat shorts, and his hair in a bandana.
Well, he's looking for you. He's looking for whoever calls him the Joe Dirt or whatever.
I'm afraid he's going to look in the window and see me on the microphone and no, it's me.
I'd shut my blinds.
Carrie has texted us. She said the platform on Netflix is a good watch.
The platform? Okay.
Yeah, the platform. Sean, you got anything? Any recommendations?
I've been playing a lot of video games.
Yeah, me too.
So, I play Fallout 4, Fallout 76. Watching the Marvel movies not in release order, but chronological order is pretty awesome.
Yeah, agreed. You start with Captain America, the First Avenger, right?
Start with First Avenger, then go on to Captain Marvel, Iron Man 2, and then from there.
Yep.
That's a worthwhile way to spend, 47 hours or something
yeah,
like
right?
that? 50 hours. And, just, I'm more, because everything is so shit right now, I'm Pollyanna in it, man. I'm watching happier stuff like Nailed It on Netflix and
Nailed It so good.
Tell me about Nailed It.
Oh, it's a baking competition where terrible people go. They're not terrible people. They're very nice people. But they're terrible. They're terrible at baking. Bakers.
Yeah,
and just go try to recreate these very intricate and beautiful cakes and do a terrible job of it. And
that's
going on my list right now, dude. It's hilarious.
Thank you for that.
It's great.
Thank you for that.
It's things they show on like Instagram. So when you're going through Instagram or Pinterest, right? And you're like, oh, I can make that. That's pretty much what Nailed It is. They're like, they'll show something on Pinterest, like, oh, super easy unicorn cake. And then they're like, all right, make it. And oh man, it's like dick cakes and all kinds of stuff happens, man. Like it ain't right.
I'm actually ashamed to admit this, but I binged 4 seasons of Spring Baking Championship on Hulu, which is the opposite. They're really good bakers, but I'm obsessed with it. I love watching them bake. And as you guys may or may not know, I'm diabetic and I can't eat that shit. And so watching it on TV is like the next best thing for me,
Oh, I love baking competitions. My favorite are the Halloween ones. They always do like a Halloween bake-off like in the month of October, and I watch every episode. So like it's a thing. Sean, what else other than Nailed It and Marvel?
Well, we did watch one thing with terrible people, Ozark, which is a fair show. It's got Justine Bateman's brother in it.
Jason Bateman.
Bateman.
I've heard a lot of people talking about Ozark, but I have yet to check it out. It keeps popping up in my suggestions as like number one, pretty much. Give me like a very generic breakdown of what Ozark is. Is it like a Shameless?
Well, if you took Breaking Bad
Yeah.
and you ran it and purchased the DVD from the Dollar General store,
Right.
you'd have Ozark. It's kind of low rent Breaking Bad.
Okay. All right.
It's
So
good. I mean, it's a good watch.
Not a real good review, but I'll take it. That's
No, I mean,
glad you're
it's
not
not
working for the New York
great
Times.
TV.
or
It's not in the pantheon, but it's good, entertaining.
And at this
I think
point,
there's 3 seasons.
and watching anything that you haven't seen a million times is good, right? At this point, it's like, you know what I mean? Like just anything new.
Do you know what I watched actually that I had never seen, and it's old as shit, and I loved it. And maybe it's because I'm so bored, or maybe it's a really good movie. I don't know. Alpha Dog.
Not heard of it.
With Justin Timberlake?
Justin Timberlake. Yes.
There was the alpha dog in the background.
It was.
Yes, it is the Alpha Dog.
Pretty fucking good. It's got the guy from Into the Wild who plays Chris McCandless. He's in it. Justin Timberlake's in it. There are quite a few people in it. And no, actually, those are the only two. Everybody else is just pretty. But whatever. It was good. And again, it's old, and I don't know if it's good because I'm in quarantine or if it's good because it was good. Has no one else seen it?
No, I've not. Never even heard of it.
I saw it when it was new, and I don't remember a thing about it.
Damn, you didn't see it then. It was kind of brutal at the end.
No, it's. I think it came out right around the time when all those Guy Ritchie, Lock, Stock, and stuff like that was coming out, and I think it was just another one of those, and they all kind of blended together.
Okay, all right.
Here's something really interesting. Oh, I'm sorry, Neil. I'll let you go here in a second. Let me just
go ahead.
My sister texted us here on the text line and told us there's a new mobile platform. It's a mobile streaming platform called Quibi, Q-U-I-B-I, and that it's a streaming platform. It's only on mobile, and all the shows are 1 minute or less, or 10 minutes or less.
And they are designed to look really good on your smartphone or your tablet. So it's actually designed for the mobile experience. I've been thinking about trying Quibi. I just haven't yet. So it's good that she has and can recommend it.
Cool. What were you going to say, Neil?
I got to watch Sling is free. Has been free for the last couple of weeks or so. And it's still free now. And you can watch a lot of network the pay movie networks stuff. You can download and watch those for free right now.
Wait, Sling is free? That's crazy. I did not know that.
I watched the full season of Godfather of Harlem over the weekend, and I gotta say, I enjoyed it immensely.
Is that with Forrest Whitaker?
Yes, and the gangsters, you're going to love the gangsters in that. Vincent D'Onofrio plays one of the gangsters, and
he's great.
He's just one of the Italians in this movie or in this series are excellent.
Yeah, I remember seeing that advertised, and I was keen to watch it, but I never got, it was on like Epics or something like that.
There's a lot of historical figures involved in the 60s that are in there. Muhammad Ali makes an appearance. Malcolm X is very well played by whoever plays him is a very good actor. A lot of people in the New York area in that time, in the gangster time and all that stuff with Bumpy Johnson.
Fun. Godfather of Harlem.
Yes.
So, guys, I was... Sean and I were talking, this is sort of like, it's weird because it's not really the apocalypse, but a lot of people online are making apocalypse jokes and sort of that kind of thing. And so we've been talking about, like, we thought we would rank our big 5 top apocalyptic movies or TV shows or books or whatever. So you guys want to do that real quick?
I'll start because I don't have a list.
Okay.
I don't watch Apocalypse. I've never watched the only
I think that when you hear our list, then you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I do like that.
Okay, because I've deliberately avoided anything like apocalyptic, I guess, since I started. The only one I can say that is really funny, and I don't even. This Is It with Seth Rogen and
Oh yeah, that's a great movie. This is the end.
This is the end. That is the only
That's
one.
more of a rapture movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Still
true.
the worlds, like
That is a funny movie.
It's great. So that's my list.
Okay, I'm going to put that on my honorable mentions. This is the end. The first act of that movie when the celebrities are all at the James Franco's party.
Yeah.
Man, that is hilarious. Sean, I know you hate James Franco, but it's worth watching because he plays.
I've seen it.
Oh, you have? I thought you never saw that movie. Did you like it?
It was funny. It's the one that has a lot of celebrities playing themselves and as like Natalie Portman is.
Yes. Don't they? Yes.
No, not Natalie Portman.
Hermione Granger.
Hermione.
Oh yeah, Emma Watson.
Emma Watson. She looks like Natalie Portman.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, Michael Cera is in it, and Dan, Craig Robinson, all kinds of people.
So good.
All right,
Well,
here's
I've got
my.
a few.
Okay, go for it, Neil.
Well, I was thinking more in the fashion line, like how are we going to dress in the post-apocalyptic America?
Okay.
Always thinking about pantyhose and fishnets. Neil Jackson. Let it be known. Of course.
Yeah. Are we going like Escape from New York or Escape from L.A.?
Whichever. Put them both on your list, dude.
We're going Mad Max Road Warrior.
Well, I was going to go Mad Max Fury Road. But the poor boy, man, that's really a bad fashion movie when you think about it.
I'm loving
all the Mad Max movies are.
Blade Runner is not really an apocalyptic movie, but it's sexy. Yeah. Totally down with that one. And I'd say my number one, but his name is the Book of Eli?
Yeah.
But it's a bit too preachy for me.
I'd imagine.
Book of Eli, is that what you said?
Book of Eli is what he said, yeah.
It's very preachy.
Yes, extremely preachy.
All right. Here's my list. I actually, I just kind of did a little bit of research, a tiny bit, but I came with a whole lot of post-apocalyptic movies and TV shows that I like. So got a couple honorable mentions. Shaun of the Dead, Terminator, A Quiet Place, 12 Monkeys, Zombieland, This Is the End, and Idiocracy.
Oh, son of a cock.
Idiocracy is great.
It's
because
so good.
the concept is great, and he's right on. But the actual movie's not that good.
I love the movie. I love it. I love that movie. Ouch, my balls. They dumb it down. So, I don't know. I think it's a great movie.
I wish that the president in that movie is our president now, though. I'll tell you that. All right. Here's
I forgot one. There's a Rutger Hauer movie where they have to play a sport where they put a bone or some kind of goat's skull on a pike on the end of the field, and they have to kill each other to try to get there. I'm not sure what that.
Games?
Oh, it's more kick-ass than Hunger Games. It's like they drift from town to town, playing other towns' teams, and they do like just complete physical battle until somebody puts that skull on that stick on the other end of the field.
So
it's badass.
Is it called The Blood of Heroes?
Yeah, it is Blood of Heroes. Yeah, that movie kicks ass.
Huh.
Right. You know what, Neil? I'm glad you said that because actually I'm going to bump one of mine off my big five and add another movie to the big five that I just thought of.
Here comes Running Man.
Yep. So Last Man on Earth, the comedy on Fox, was previously my number five, but I'm putting that in the honorable mention. Running Man, number five. Number four, The Planet of the Apes, the original.
Son of a fuck me.
Yes.
Fuck. I fucking have watched Beneath Planet of the Apes, Return to Planet of the Apes, Conquest of Planet of the Apes.
There's your big five right there.
Of it. The first one was a little slow, but the second two were very good.
So good. God damn it. Okay.
Man, I love that old Planet of the Apes movie is so smart.
perfect. It's
I mean, you
fucking
got those guys. I mean, they're running around in rubber monkey suits, but like the social commentary. The apes are talking about like affirmative action with like chimpanzees can't get a job and shit. I mean, it's so far ahead of its time, man.
God, I can't believe I.
You know it's hard out here for a chimp.
Oh my God.
I think that was the tagline, wasn't it?
Yes.
No, it wasn't.
Planet of the Apes. It's hard out here for a chimp.
Number 3, The Last of Us, which is a video game on PlayStation, which is coming out as an HBO television series. That's the one I told you where the girls got the blood that's immune to the zombies, and they were going to try to get her blood from her to make a cure, but they have to kill her. That's so good. Yeah. Number 2 for me is the comic book Old Man Logan. And there's an episode of MJ and the Boys, like an early episode where I explain the entire plot of Old Man Logan. So if you can find that, you can go and listen to that because it's really crazy.
Is that the one about Red Hulks and all that?
No, the Red Hulk isn't in it, but the real Hulk, the Green Hulk, starts an inbred family with his cousin, the She-Hulk.
Oh, okay.
And at the end, he eats Wolverine. And then Wolverine cuts his way out of the Hulk's stomach with his claws. Yeah, it's so, and that's not even the crazy part. That's a crazy show. That is a crazy show. You got a comic, you should read it. But if you don't accept comics, then X-Men: Days of Future Past, the movie. And,
comics are acceptable, man.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say X-Men: Days of Future Past. And
no,
obviously,
sneak another one in.
Okay.
Violating the rules of the Big Five.
Sorry. Number one clearly is Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sean.
It absolutely is. All right, couple honorable mentions. You mentioned Shaun of the Dead, and I think you mentioned 12 Monkeys as well.
I did.
So the other one is 28 Days Later, which is a
about a woman with a period.
Wait,
yeah,
no,
that's what it is.
Wasn't that set in like Alaska or somewhere snowy?
No, it was set in London. It was a dude had been in a coma, woke up, and there was a massive contagion that swept the world, and everybody was a zombie.
Oh my God!
Swept England.
It was like Jared Leto coming out of the desert right after COVID.
Yeah, kind of like what's happening now.
MJ, the movie you're thinking of is called Dead Snow.
Is that what it is? It was so bad I walked out. Like
yeah, it's about Nazi zombies.
no,
Sorry,
no,
sorry, Sean.
Maybe it was. I don't know, but it was bad. Okay, sorry. Go on, Sean.
So my actual list. Let's go with number 5, and it can be a movie or a book. War of the Worlds, the H.G. Wells story. It can also, I guess, be a radio play. That's my number 5. It's an alien invasion post-apocalypse movie. Number 4, I'm going to go with Escape from New York. Number 3 is a video game series I mentioned earlier, the Fallout series. It's a post-nuclear set game where people are trying to come back out into the world and survive in the world.
Is that a first-person shooter, though?
It can be first or third.
Oh, okay, good.
So it's a lot of fun, and you can kill hours just playing it. It's kind of a free roam game. There is a set bunch of things you have to do, but it's also an open world as well.
Right.
And number 2 and number 1, they're a lot closer than I expected. Number 2 is Stephen King's The Stand. Book only so far, not the old miniseries with Molly Ringwald. That was shit. But the book is one of the great American novels, and Stephen King doesn't get enough credit for having written one of the great American novels. The Stand. And obviously, number 1, as everybody knew it would be because I made this whole thing up, just as an excuse to get this movie on another list. Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah. I knew that would be. It deserves to be number 1, though. It's absolutely cuckoo bananas, amazing bonkers movie.
All right. Well, before we make our final list, One, Sean, did you see where Stephen King tweeted out that we were not living in?
He apologized for us living in a Stephen King novel. Yeah.
Yes. I love Stephen King for that. And your all's list made me realize that I forgot a movie that scarred me as a child because I had to listen how weird this is. So I was at a church lock-in, right, where you spend the night, and they show you.
It's weird to start with.
No, it gets even weirder. Do you know what they showed us? And I mean, I was like under 10. I was probably
God, I
five.
hope it was The Exorcist.
No, The Day After. You guys remember that from the 80s?
Wait, the 80s nuclear TV movie?
Yeah, I remember that.
It's fuck, man.
That was a big deal. That was like 1984. I was like 10 years old, and the whole world, like, everybody watched it, man. It's like all anybody was. It was like the Tiger King of 1984. It's all anybody would talk about.
Yeah, it was so terrifying. It fucking scarred me as a child. And because I was at a church lock-in, so I actually thought that somehow it wasn't a nuclear bomb that was killing us. It was the devil. Like, I swear to God, like, everything got fucking twisted because of the context in which I watched it.
It was the white pasty zombie post-nuclear people that were walking around. That was the scary thing about it.
Terrifying.
Yeah, the War Boys.
Yeah, there were some poor boys in the Day After movie. And I swear to God, in this post-apocalypse time, I'm following the first guy that ends their speech with, "Can you dig it?"
You really big Booker T fan, are you?
No, that's a Escape from L.A. reference.
Yeah. The Escape from LA was shit, Neil. Come on.
Stylistically, man, come on. Snake Plissken, The Adventures of Snake Plissken, and I'm still waiting for the third movie.
Escape from Des Moines.
Well, he should probably go to like Montana somewhere, maybe Chicago.
You know, they've got the de-aging technology now. I'd be really interested to see if they could do something. They talk about it a lot in Escape from LA, the Cleveland job. Snake and Carjack Malone.
Well, our list.
Oh, sorry, MJ.
Well, I'm actually writing it down, and we only have two that are going to make it, and that is This Is It and Mad Max. So we have three we can fight for.
This is the end.
This is the end. Sorry, this is whatever. You know what I'm
This is it.
This is it.
Sticky. Those chips taste good.
Who is munching? I'm going to insist on Planet of the Apes. I mean, does anybody argue with that? There's still two slots.
No, I'm just curious how you could insist on it when it didn't even make your list.
Well, because I fucking forgot about it. Okay? I put so much effort into I put more effort into my what to watch on Netflix list than I did on this one. So I was like, I don't watch post-apocalyptic movies. And then you guys named them, and I was like, oh shit, I do. So you guys fight over the last two. We know Mad Max is number 1. 2 and 3 are open. And we've got Planet of the Apes, and This Is the End. So.
Well, Sticky doesn't read, or I'd insist on The Stand. So I think Escape from New York
should
be on it. Yeah.
All right. Okay, we can do that.
No one can hear Sticky. We can talk bad about him all we want.
Every chip.
Who the fuck is doing that? It's really, oh my god.
It's Sticky. He's rolling in potato chips right now.
Fucking stop. Stop.
He's eating sun chips. We'll hear the crinkle of the big aluminum bag here shortly.
So gross. All right, we have one. Fucking stop, Sticky. We have one left. So.
It's not him. He's gone. He's gone completely out. We're not hearing Sticky at all.
All right. Well, what about The Day After? Did that not scar everybody? Does that not deserve like some kind of accolade on there? He said it was the Tiger King of the '80s himself. Though.
I'm down.
Stop. Fucking stop. You know what? Fuck him. I'm putting it on there. So here's our list. The Day After. This is the End. Planet of the Apes. Escape from New York. Mad motherfucking Max. You suck. Your end is going to be me driving to your fucking house and killing you. And that's MJ and the boys.
She's going to snap.
I'm not even sure what she's hearing. I don't hear it.
I'm hearing it now. I can't not hear it.
Now it's done. That's cute. That's cute. Sticky.
And now I'm hearing somebody's chair squeak, but that's all I hear.
Oh, that's probably mine. Sorry. I'm gonna move to the couch.
Well, we have lost our resident nerd. I would assume he's working on getting his shit back up and together, but if not, he could try calling in on his phone and talking like the rest of us.
I don't know.
Might work. Sticky's gone dead. He's not dead. His microphone's dead. So try opening up the app on your phone, there, Sticky, and call in like we are. It might work.
Somebody said Parasite.
I'm not sure if that was a post-apocalypse movie, or I think they might just be recommending things to watch during that.
Ah, son of a bitch. Carrie
Yeah, you
wrote.
forgot The Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly. Did MJ mention The Walking Dead, the zombie apocalypse? I don't even watch that show, but she hasn't shut up about it for years. Yes, Carrie, you're right. Stop.
Yeah, that was good for 2 seasons or so. So,
that's not him. Wait. Are you guys hearing this?
Are you not hearing me? I've said all that like 7 times.
Sorry. Because I pulled my phone away from my ear to check my messages, so.
Yeah, no, it's not Sticky. Sticky's mic has gone down. We're trying to work him back into the show.
Then who's eating the chips?
It's not me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sitting here just quietly going about my business.
Okay.
It's in your head.
All right, cool.
It is not in our heads.
Thank you, Neil. All right, so let's work on. Oh my God.
No, I hear that. It's just Neil fucking with you, MJ.
I hate you, Neil. I hate you so much.
That's not me. I have etiquette.
Okay, so Sticky, really, we can't hear him. That is
Right,
so perfect. Let's talk about Sticky real quick, okay? So, not last week, but the week before, we totally forgot to call him, and we felt bad, right? I realized on the morning show that I do, we talk to him every Tuesday. I was like, oh my God, we forgot to call Sticky. And Twitch was like, just send him a message that said, where you at? And act like he forgot. And I was like, that's brilliant. So I did. And, he never responded. I think he was on to my game. But we almost forgot this week, but I did remember. And he came on, and poor Sticky was trying to do his nerd news. And his neighbor with the CB radio was talking the whole time, and it was just driving him insane. So I know this has to be driving him insane, too, because I can talk about how I think he's a sugar blood little bitch.
Sweet blood.
He's way too sensitive. He thinks everyone hates him all the all the time.
What the hell just happened?
I was just listening to something go on. Apparently I'm hearing somebody do stuff in my head. Anybody else have anything shitty to say about Sticky why he can't respond? This is the time.
No, I got nothing shitty to say about him. He's my buddy. He's my pal.
Jesus, he wrote in all caps, MJ, Sean has said my mic is not working. Like all caps, like he's yelling at me. Fuck you, Sticky, do something.
Well, I mean, he's yelling at you because I told you 8 times.
Well, I went to read the messages.
You seem surprised.
Oh my God. It's not our normal setup. All right, well, that was our big 5 list. Oh, fuck, it's Nerd News with Sticky.
Yeah, we would normally go to Nerd Stuff. Maybe he can scan his Nerd Stuff notes and send them to me or something.
Or Neil, any nerdy. Sean, you're a nerd. Both you and Neil are pretty big nerds. Like, ooh, I've got a nerd story, actually. Well, it's kind of a nerd story and kind of ties in with our last subject. So Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead does a show for AMC called Ride with Norman Reedus, where he, rides his motorcycle all over the U.S. and whatnot. Last night they aired an episode where he came to Kentucky. He landed in Louisville and worked his way where to? Motherfucking Powell County, bitches. That's right, Red River Gorge. he went there and actually met up with a guy I went to high school with who we don't get along. He's a hardcore Trumper, but I've known him a long time, so I give him a pass, even though he's real dumb sometimes. But he met up with him because they do the Jeep rock climbing. You know what I'm talking about? I don't even know if there's a name for it. What is it? Like just off-roading, I guess? And
that Jeep, the off-road, they drive over really impossible rocks and shit like that, right?
Yes, and he is like the master of it. Him and his friends, they've got like a club. So Norman Reedus actually came out, and they took him around the Red River Gorge up some mountains. And my friend was talking about how Norman came with, his cigarettes, and like they bounced him all over the place, obviously deliberately because they're assholes, and broke all of poor Norman's, like his cigarettes. So for the rest of the day,
At this point, the Podbean app crashed and our show ended abruptly, and I was able to start the live show back up again, and Sean, Neil, and I just finished real quickly. So here's the end of the show. Our apologies for all those technical issues. Hey, Sean, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Motherfucking goddamn fucking son of a bitch computer.
What was it?
It just, I don't know, I restarted the computer and it started to work.
Oh, really? Because it never shut this room down.
Hey, man.
There's Neil back.
Hi.
It was the Warriors. I'm sorry. No, but Cuervo Jones said that too, though.
Can you dig it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, man. That was from the Warriors. God damn, that was the most frustrating fucking 20 minutes of my entire life. I was screaming, "It's the Warriors, Neil!" And no one could hear me. And I kept going. And then you guys were screaming at me about eating potato chips.
That's what it sounded like. I swear to God, man. It sounded like you were just eating, munching potato chips into the microphone.
I could hear that. I could hear what you guys were hearing. And I don't know what that was. And I was screaming, and I was like screaming. And Violet was standing here. She was listening to the whole show because it was her turn. She thought. Fuck, man.
Consuelo was going to be on the show.
Yeah.
Man.
Where's MJ? She coming back?
I doubt it. She's probably long gone by now.
Well, hey, man.
Well, listen. Do you want to hear a dad joke?
Yeah.
Drop it
All
on
right.
us, man.
Dad joke.
You're going to like this.
Sexist?
It's sexist.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's not too bad. Jake was dying. His wife sat at the bedside. He looked up and said weakly, "I have something to confess." "There's no need," his wife replied. "No," he insisted. "I want to die in peace. I had sex with your sister, your best friend, her best friend, and your mother." "I know," the wife replied. "Now, just rest and let the poison do its work."
Nice.
Okay, so I guess the show's over. MJ's not coming back. I'm sorry that happened. I was screaming. The whole time. And I think that Sean was endlessly entertained by my screams when he saw them on Facebook, when I was Skyping him on Facebook or whatever. Instant messaging him, I mean. Go ahead, Neil. Say goodbye.
Cool, man. You've been listening to the 225th episode of MJ and the Boys, you lucky bastards.
This is MJ and the Boys. Now that's a tasty cup of meat.